I think I'm legally required to talk about a rhythm game every 6 months. See, Rock Band 2 was one of the first rhythm games I ever played, and it's still one of my favorites for a variety of reasons. For starters, it's got one of the best feeling engines in the series. The customization is way less limiting than later entries. There's actual personality behind the in-game menus, and of course, the set list is absolutely stacked. This was my introduction to bands like, I don't know, Smashing Pumpkins, Panic at the Disco, Linkin Park, System of a Down, and for every Billboard hit that made it onto the set list, there was also a hidden gem.
Nights filled with longer hours. Hey!
A Jagged Gorgeous Winter is one of my favorite songs on Rock Band 2. In fact, it was one of the first songs I remember really gravitating towards when I first picked up the game, and revisiting it all these years later brought me right back to that very moment from my childhood. I just get a real warm feeling when I listen to this song nowadays that not many others are able to replicate, and it was this feeling in particular that got me to dip my toes into the actual album this song is from. And honestly, I'm so glad I decided to step in. Yours as Fast as Mine is the main drag's second album, and it's quickly become one of my favorites from this era of music. One thing I really love about it is how homemade the whole thing sounds, and I mean that in the best possible way. There's just something so cozy yet melancholic about the way that synths and string sections are used throughout the album, because anytime they are present, it feels very purposeful towards the atmosphere and message behind a song. Now, if I had to make comparisons and, take this with a grain of salt, it sort of reminds me of bands like American Football and even Radiohead at certain points. Whereas nowadays, I could totally hear someone like Quedeca on this project. It's beautiful, abstract, and it stands apart in a way that almost makes it feel ahead of its time. But for as much praise as I'm willing to give, I do have one major issue with this album. As you all know, I clearly do not own enough CDs. So when it came to tracking one down for this album, I was willing to go to Jagged links for a copy. First, it started on their Bandcamp page, where the universe decided to laugh in my face. Shortly after, I found a link that seemed to lead to the band's homepage, only to yield no results. And eventually, I came across their Twitter page that Wait, you have to make an account just to view the page? I'm not doing that. Okay, so now I'm getting desperate. At this point, I need to start thinking outside the box. Wait a minute. Sure enough, there was a link under one of their music videos that led me to a website from a bygone era. And even though my credit card information might have been at risk, I was willing to do anything to get